Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. Once again, welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Let's Join Pharmacy. Yes, sir, today I am here in front of you because of one subscriber had demanded me, sir, please explain me about permagnometry, serimetry, and iodometry. My dear brother, thank you for asking me a question, and I am sorry because I am late for attempting your question. I am really sorry, brother. Yes, so let's study. See here, basically, redox titration. There are six types in redox titration, and it is very important question in 10 marks. One is permagnometry, dichromo, serimetry, IOD, and iodo. Okay, bromatometry, titrations with potassium iodate. Now let's discuss about the first one, that is permagnometry. See here, potassium permanganate is very powerful oxidizing agent. You remember one thing, potassium permanganate KMNO4, which you observed in your laboratory, that is the pink color solution which you are observing, no, the dark pink, okay, or jamun color. It is a powerful oxidizing agent and widely employed in various redox titration. Okay, it is also used as a self indicator due to its intense color, because of its purple color, dark purple or jamun color or dark pink color, anyone you can say. Due to its intense color, it used as a self indicator. Remember one thing, in permagnometry titration we are not using any type of the indicator, because KMNO4 itself it is an indicator. The titration which employs the potassium permanganate as an oxidizing agent, it is known as permagnometry. Okay, this point you get it. Very simple. First you write it's a very powerful oxidizing agent, then you write it acts as a self indicator because of its intense color, then you write the definition. Okay, permagnometry, the titration which employs KMNO4 as its oxidizing agent is known as permagnometry. Let's later discuss about the principle. Principle is very simple. When potassium permanganate is used in redox titration by standardizing it with a primary standard like oxalic acid, okay, basically what we are doing means we are standardizing this potassium permanganate with the primary standard solution like oxalic acid. Here see KMNO4 it is not a primary standard, while oxalic acid, okay, H2C2O4 it is a primary standard solution, with a primary standard solution. Here potassium permanganate acts as a strong oxidizing agent in acidic media which oxidizing oxalic acid into carbon dioxide. You write here simple. First you write potassium permanganate is used in redox titration. It acts as a secondary standard. Okay, oxalic acid it is a primary standard. You write this, and next you directly come across the equation. When potassium permanganate, first you write the equation, then you explain that when potassium permanganate made to react with the oxalic acid, okay, in the presence of a sulfuric acid, then there will be formation of a potassium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, water, and liberation of the carbon dioxide. Okay, if you write this point and you explain as it is, like potassium permanganate reacts with oxalic acid, so and so, you explain that, you can easily write the principle, and it is very easy principle. Got it? After writing this, if they ask a standardization of potassium permanganate means you can write it very easy. How you prepare in the laboratory, take a 10 ml or 20 ml of oxalic acid, to that add 5 ml of sulfuric acid, okay, then heat about 70 degree, then directly titrate with the KMNO4. This is the standardization technique. Then some of the limitations and applications are there. I will tell you limitations. See here, simple limitation, potassium permanganate it is very difficult to get in pure form, because it is available in a very trace amount in water also, so it is very difficult to get in pure form. Then applications, very important application, it is used to assay to determine the H2O2 hydrogen peroxide. It is used in the determination of nitrates and perchlorides. Then ferrous sulfate, ferrous ammonium sulfate can be performed, or the assays of this FeSO4 hematonics these are, and ferrous ammonium sulfate, these are performed by permagnometry. Okay, ethamsalate is an hemostatic which can be determined by this permagnometry, ethamsalate. And it is also determination of the calcium, and also this potassium permanganate is used in the wounds also, if you come across the in a medical line. This is the small detailed information about the permagnometry. If you are having any doubt means you can ask me. Simple, very easy it is. Now let's move across the, yes, so let's discuss about the next one, that is iodimetry and iodometry. My dear brother, see here, sis and sisters, if you are listening this lecture, iodimetry and iodometry simple. Okay, iodimetry, you remember one thing, iodometry, iod and iodo, these both are redox titration which are employed or which are used in the determination of the iodine. Okay, we are using this to determine the iodine. You remember this one. Okay, first point, very important. And you, in both this iod and iodo, both are confusing terms, so better to remember only one. Iodimetry, the titration in which iodine is determined by directly, it is known as iodimetry. Okay, directly determination of the iodine is known as iod. You remember this one, and you can write directly opposite to that of iodometry. Means the determination of iodine by indirectly, it's known as iodometry. You remember one, any one, either iodo or id. Iodo means directly, iod means indirectly. Yes, the next one is a principle. See here, iodine, it is a weak oxidant and it is used for the redox titration of easily oxidized substances. Basically, it is the weak oxidant. Okay, weak oxidant, and we use it in the redox titration. Iodine is reduced by the reductants like stannous chloride, then sodium thiosulfide, arsenious oxide. These all are the reductants we use on in front of this iodine to determine that iodine. See, in iodimetry, known volume of standard iodine is titrated directly with the reductant, okay, which is used to determine, which is to be used using starch as an indicator. Means what we are doing means iodine should be directly titrated with some of the reductant like stannous, like arsenious oxide. Okay, while titrating with both these directly by using the starch as indicator, we will get the endpoint. Okay, endpoint is detected. How the endpoint is detected? By the conversion of a colored blue color into the colorless. In all iodimetry titration, iodine is reduced to form iodine ion. Okay, in all iodimetry titration, iodine is reduced to form iodine I2. Okay, this is the reduced form. Okay, this is the iodine is reduced form to the iodine. Yeah, example, see, I2 plus 2i reduced to 2 iodine. See here, the next one I have given here one some example. When stannous made to react with iodine, there will be formation of a stannous and iodine liberation of iodine. Then iodo, on the other hand, it is the indirectly liberated. How the indirectly means? The simple, you had done the practicals in our practical classes. Okay, that determination of this iodometry, one titration you had done, in which iodine is liberated in analyte solution through oxidation of the iodine, and liberated iodine is treated with strong reductant, is known as indirect titration. Here what happens, basically the iodine is liberated, that iodine is again retitrated or again titrated with one of the strong reductant like thiosulfate, sodium thiosulfate. Later I will give you the example. See here, consider the strong oxidant like copper sulfate, CuSO4. To this we have to add excess potassium iodide, okay, in the presence of acid. When this copper sulfate made to react with the potassium iodide excess in the presence of any acid, sulfuric acid or HCl, okay, then iodine is get liberated. Okay, means iodine gets is oxidized to form iodine. Iodine ions get oxidized, they get oxidized and they form the iodine. That iodine, see this iodine, again it is titrated with the sodium thiosulfide. Then there will be formation of a sodium iodate. Okay, sodium iodate is liberated. See here, NaI, sodium iodate. Okay, it is then you got this point. Very simple point, very simple point. Just to remember, when excess amount of potassium iodide, here Ki moles, titrated with copper sulfate, it is an oxidant, with acid HCl, then there will be liberation of the iodine in oxidized form. That iodine is titrated with this sodium thiosulfide. Then there will be formation of the liberation of the end product, sodium iodide. Okay, sodium iodide with the sodium tetrathionate. It is a sodium tetrathionate. Okay, my dear brothers and sisters, this is the short and sweet video application. See, let's discuss directly here. I have given the iodimetry applications. You can read it or you can take the screenshot. These are the iodo and iodimetry applications, very important. Yes, I hope you understand this video. If you like this video, subscribe my channel Let's Join Pharmacy, and if you are having any doubt, you can ask me. And in upcoming days, one surprise for you, inshallah, fast I will expose that surprise. Thank you for watching this video.